38 more days. 38 more days. 38 more days. Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as IvyWinter. Thank you for joining me for another Wedding Wednesday. I am freaking out because I'm 38 days away from my wedding and it sucks. It sucks because nobody tells you how crazy crunch time is gonna be in the last 4 to 6 weeks of planning a wedding, and it sucks. I'm about to be real with you. There's just so much that like people talk about is so great about planning a wedding, and it is. I mean, there are great things about it, which is like picking, you know, your ceremony music and making that fun and eating your menu. It sounds like I'm actually like literally taking a piece of paper and eating my menu, but you know what I mean. Eating the food and tasting it and like doing decor stuff, maybe if you're into that, that's super exciting. And then there is all the shitty stuff, like all of the vendor meetings that we have from now until forever. And just all the other little things that we have to do. There's so many little things. It's like absolutely crazy, and you don't think about it because you don't worry about all the little logistics until you're this close. So I'm going a little crazy, but like also in a good way. I'm super excited. I'm like so ready, you know, like I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to have this wedding and have a party and have fun. You know, this is where I'm at right now. And so I'm gonna talk a little bit about, you know, what I'm experiencing in terms of like what I need to be prepped for. And if you are getting near crunch time, or maybe you're not anywhere near crunch time at all, you know, you're 6 months out, 10 months out, whatever. Just so you know what to prepare for and how to be prepared, I'm gonna give you some advice on how I've been trying to handle it and what I think you should do when you head into that last few weeks. So the first thing I really suggest doing is utilize your calendar, whatever that might be. I use my Gmail calendar. I find that really easy because when I create a invite, I can add Peter onto it, and so he has it on his calendar, and he is very much a Gmail phone, always on his phone kind of guy. So saying like, hey, we get to meet with the DJ October 30th at this time, I send him the invite, and now he has it too, and he knows when we have to go do that. I also use it for things like just like prepping stuff. So like we got our ceremony draft back, which by the way was awesome. I cried when I read it, so I think there's gonna be a problem at the wedding. I need to wear very waterproof makeup, and I told my bridesmaids somebody needs to have tissues. If I cried just reading a draft, there's gonna be a problem at the wedding. But we have to edit that. So like we will put on a certain day of a week, like, okay, this time we're gonna edit the ceremony together and like send it back to, you know, our officiant, whatever. What's also great about Google Calendar is if you do have an appointment somewhere, you can put in the address, so you don't have to like keep referencing anything else or like remember it. You know, we have so many different addresses we're going to in Manhattan for different offices and things like that, and we just can't keep track of all of it. Sometimes you have different contacts, like when we went to go pick out our tablecloths, you know, we had a new name of somebody else that we were dealing with, so I put all of that information in the Google Calendar invite so that we can just look at that on the day of and say, okay, this is where we gotta go, this is a suite number, this is the person we're talking to, cool. So I find that really helpful, but like if you're somebody who likes to write in a calendar, like something smaller, a planner, cool. If you like a big whiteboard calendar so that when you're walking by it, you're reminded, you know, you put it in your kitchen or wherever, cool. But just like use a calendar. Don't try to remember all the dates. Don't write them down in a list somewhere. I feel like seeing them laid out is really important because you are going to have so many. We had scheduled the last meeting with the DJ, meeting with the florist, my last 2 dress fittings, meetings with the officiant, meetings with our caterer and our venue person to walk through our venue for the last time. Like all of that is already scheduled from now until, like I said, forever. So don't just like write it somewhere. There's gonna be a lot of things, so definitely do a calendar because you can plan out your days, you can figure out how busy one week is compared to another week, and then you don't accidentally overlap anything. Make lists in spreadsheets that are easy to like check off of all of the things you need to do in the next few weeks, and break it out by week. Say like, this needs to be done this week. Do we need to bother our groomsmen to order their suits by Friday? Then we're putting that on for this week. And do we need to have our vows written by this day? Then that's putting that on that week. And I find it's really easy if you take all of those things and spread them out week by week, because they look overwhelming when it's just like to do, and it's just like your entire life. But if it's like to do this week, to do next week, handle things week by week, it is so much easier. Like, I find myself getting stressed when I'm looking at it from big picture, like, oh my God, these are all the things we need to do before November 18th. And I just get really stressed out. And then when I realize, like, okay, we'll get to November 18th, but I just need to look at things week by week, it is so much easier to look at. In addition to your list of what you have to do every week, list out all of your decor and everything that you need to bring. I don't care if your venue is 5 blocks away or 5 states away, you need to list out everything that you might have that you need to bring. I have bought a lot of stuff from Etsy. You guys have seen that. I'm literally looking at it like beyond the camera this way. There is an entire desk full of stuff, and it is gifts for my party and my hanger and my just married jacket and, you know, table, card, numbered things, signs, guest book, all of that. Make a detailed list of every single item so that the night of, not the night of, oh my God, that was a scary thing to say. The night of, you make sure you go and you grab it all. No, the day before or the morning of, or whatever it is that you're gonna be traveling, you can go through, it's like a packing, you know, list. Like, you're going to Disney World, right? And you're like, okay, I need my suntan lotion and my sunglasses and pants and this many shirts and whatever. It's the same thing. Make sure you list every single thing out so you do not forget them. That would be a nightmare. You know, you spend money on things or you spend time making things, you don't want to forget them, especially, again, if you were traveling. Like, we are going from Queens to Manhattan, which isn't very far, but we're staying overnight Friday night into the morning of the wedding and then Saturday night. And so we need to have everything with us on Friday. We are not gonna have time with the rehearsal dinner and then getting ready to go back to our apartment. I don't wanna be sending anybody back to our apartment. So just be organized as much as possible and list out every little thing so that you have it. And then also so that you know what you're looking for at the end of the night. You know, I hear a lot of stories of people forgetting items they want to take home. Like, maybe there are certain things that you bought or whatever and you want to hold on to as a keepsake and you forgot it at the venue, and hopefully maybe they can get it to you, but you don't even want to have to deal with that. Like, you want to make sure you take everything that you're going to take. You also need to start thinking about the day of timeline. So if you have a wedding planner, they're probably handling this for you already, and kudos to you. I could not afford a full wedding planner, at least not in New York City. They're very expensive. So this might be something that now you're thinking of on your own. And what I found was really helpful was reach out to the photographer. They are really good about knowing what the schedule should look like, because hopefully they've shot a bunch of weddings before. So if you say, okay, my ceremony is at this time, they're probably gonna be like, great, we've shot plenty of weddings with a ceremony around that time. Let's work backwards. This is when you need to do family photos, first look if you're doing one, you know, so you should be ready by this time, you should be leaving by this time, you know, whatever. And obviously you're gonna work with how many hours they're gonna be there, so they'll also say, like, you know, when they're gonna be leaving. For us, our photographer is going to be 10 hours, so he is going to come at 1 p.m. when we are getting towards the latter half of getting ready, and then he'll be leaving at 11, even though the wedding doesn't end till midnight. But honestly, reception photos not as important as the earlier stuff. Like, there's a point where you're just dancing, right? And like, there's not gonna be that much of a difference there. Like, there's gonna be a lot of different things happening that you want to like have. So always good to have them earlier than later. But anyway, point being, they can send you a mock-up of a schedule. It might not be super in-depth. Like, he literally sent us like, this is when we're gonna arrive and this is when you should leave. It was more in-depth for like the photos before the wedding part. And then he was like, well, also this is like your ceremony, so then this is probably also when your dinner is gonna be and when, you know, dancing is gonna be, because he has experienced this. So I did that, and then also reached out to the makeup artist about what time she was coming, and obviously she's coming a lot earlier, and then kind of combined those two timelines together. And then now I need to work out a little bit more succinctly, you know, exactly when everybody is arriving at the hotel, when the girls are arriving, when the guys are arriving, because they don't have to arrive as early, you know, and more of the nuance of like, this is, you know, the exact time we're gonna be doing whatever photos, this is when I should be lining up to get ready to walk down the aisle. Logistics, so not just like what's happening at what time, but like, for instance, I'm going to an after party afterwards, somehow. I feel like maybe for an hour, and then I'm gonna go die. I'm changing into a different dress. So logistically, who's taking my dress? I'm not going back to the hotel room, and neither is Peter, so is Peter's mom gonna take it? Is someone who isn't going to the after party gonna take it? Do I give him a room key? You know, gotta figure that out. Who is taking the presents and all of the decor at the end of the day if we are going to this after party, right? Our day of coordinator helps pack everything up, but she needs to know, who am I giving this to and where is this going? Where is it being kept? You know, all of those little logistics of like, who's doing what, who's taking what, who's gonna hold on to things for you, who's gonna make sure people sign the guest book. Like, I don't think you need someone standing there being like, sign the guest book, like, you know, Vanna White, but it's good to have some people who be like, hey, did you sign the guest book yet? You should do that, you know, like have a couple of people doing that. Have an emergency kit. Things like aspirin, because headaches happen, especially when you're drinking, and if you've been drinking and not drinking enough water, dehydration, all that good stuff. Bring Band-Aids. Never know, someone could get hurt. Or maybe your shoes are just killing you, or someone else's shoes are killing them, and then you throw the Band-Aid on your heels. It's good to have that as well. Bring deodorant, because that happens, so you might need deodorant. For me personally, you guys know I have IBS, bring Imodium or Tums or other things like that. And you should have that in general anyway, because who knows if another guest needs it. Because I think that's the important thing in the emergency kits. Like, it's for you, but it's also for like, if somebody else needs it, you have stuff, you know? Like, you want everyone to be comfortable, your whole wedding party, your family, your friends. So if it should happen that someone's suffering from a bad headache, you know, someone could just run in and get them aspirin, which is super helpful. And the last thing I'm gonna say is like, just be prepared that this is kind of gonna suck. You know, wedding planning is super fun, and getting married is awesome, and I can't wait for this super fun day. Like, I'm excited about it, but like, these last few weeks are kind of gonna suck. We're really busy with all of that stuff. We've got a wedding we're going to this weekend. We've got a wedding we're going to the weekend before ours. You know, we have other things going on, you know, Halloween parties, my bachelorette party, and birthday parties, just things that are kind of obligations. And sure, on one hand, I'd like to say that, like, yes, you use your wedding planning as an excuse to get out of it. If you really don't have time, if you really need to dedicate the time to the wedding planning, like, this should be the time that your friends are understanding that you can't go to everything, for sure. At the same time, enjoy yourself. Don't get yourself so wrapped up in planning that you don't get to go do things. Like, yeah, I'm going to 2 weddings and everybody thinks I'm crazy, but like, I'm looking forward to them. I love weddings, and I'm looking forward to spending time with Peter's mom's side of the family that I don't know quite as well before our wedding, and then going to a really close friend of mine's wedding the weekend before in California, because I want to go and celebrate with them, and they're coming to my wedding. So like, it's really great because we'll get to almost like swap, you know, roles within 2 weekends of each other. And then, you know, another piece of advice that my dad gave me when I was like, oh man, I have so much to do, was, you know, it's a lot, but like, it's gonna be over really quick, and then you're gonna be looking back at it and you're gonna be like, whoa, my wedding happened and it's over, and I'm kind of sad and it's done. So as much as you might complain about how busy you might be, enjoy it a little bit, because before you know it, and I know this is to be true, it's like looking forward to any big event, all of a sudden it's done. So those are some of my thoughts, tips, ideas on what to do if you're in your wedding crunch time. I'm sorry if I'm really sounding so congested. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you know I've been so sick. I got sick like Saturday morning. I woke up with a sore throat, and it was just hell from there on. And it is Wednesday now, and I am still really congested, and Peter's sick. It's been bad. So I apologize for nasaliness. But thank you for watching another video. If you have any tips about what you plan to do or have done in the crunch time of your wedding, you can let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, then like it. If you like me, then you should subscribe. I try to put out videos every week. I've been a little crappy about it lately because wedding, but I do try to put out videos every single week. And that's it. Those are all the things. I'm gonna just go stare at my mailbox and hope this lasts like 11 RSVPs come in. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. You've got like 7 days. Let's do it.